Hello everyone, this is Rizunk the Drug Gamer, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time, we kinda got into a bit of an argument with Shizune's father, nothing new, and then we head back and got the letter. Iwanako never makes things easy, does she? This time, we're going to find Shizune and Misha, I guess. The grounds are mostly deserted today, which is a shame because it's so nice out. No one answers when I knock. I try to go in anyway, but it's locked. When I pull my hand away from the doorknob, it's covered in dust. Looks like no one's been here since we left. Since I'm already out here and dressed, I might as well get something to eat in town. My wallet is back in my room though. On the way back there, I stumbled across Misha sitting down behind the main building. Her eyes are closed in sleep, and she looks very tranquil. It's always been hard to picture her not constantly bouncing around and hopping on the tips of her toes impatiently. My first instinct is to call out to her and ask if she has seen Shizune, or if she wants to go into town with me, but now that I've seen her, I don't think I feel like disturbing her. I leave her alone. I thought there was gonna be a bit more than that, I guess not. For the first few days I was back, I almost forgot that I was in the student council. I managed to pick up here and there that the student council usually gets swamped with work around the end of the break, but it didn't have to be the case. First few times when I managed to catch Shizune or Misha, they were in too much of a hurry for me to get a chance to ask if they needed help, anytime they want. I'd only be able to get a hold of Misha. Shizune would say something about how there was work, but it was so little that involving either Misha or I would only bore us. After a while, the idea of having some free time again had started to grow on me, though there were still periods where I felt like I had too much of it. Just when I was getting used to it though, things changed again. I found myself in the middle of the student council room, arguing with Shizune about whether tissue boxes would make good ballot boxes or not. I'm telling you, they work just fine, as long as we get the cube-shaped ones, not the rectangular ones. Asia, can you send that to her? I kind of got my hands full. On second thought, forget it. She's busy cutting out ballot slips, so if she were to make one movement, she would probably set the scissors flying into someone's head. I dropped the box of poster pages I'm carrying onto my little table in the student council room, and cough as a wave of dust hits me in the face. It really has been a while. Do you think we should change the size of the ballot slips? What? But Shi-chan, how do you cut out so many of them? We can make them smaller. It'll be more efficient. You just have to shrink the font. More ballots will fit in a single box that way. We only need half the amount of paper then. The format for voting can be changed. It could be more like a real election, then we might be able to get away with buying less boxes. With the money left over, we could get a pizza, or maybe Chinese, or a cake, or 3 bowls of the new ramen bowl I want to try. Shizune excitedly rubs a finger along the frame of her glasses, as she ponders more ways to cut even a half yen of spending off of our budget. Since I think she's the only one who even knows what our budget is, I'm scared to ask just how tiny it is for her to have to do this. What about all the ballot slips Misha already cut out? Don't worry, I can make them into memo pads and sell them in the school store. Chi-chan, they don't look very cute though. Shizune seems to disagree. Now they're arguing, but it seems like it consists of nothing more than signing yes they do and no they don't at each other until they're tired of it. Until they're so tired of it that they are just taking turns pointing at each other commandingly. It's strange partially because it looked kind of ridiculous, but also because I've never seen them disagree. Then again, both of them have looked very stressed these past few days. Shizune has been increasingly absorbed in the idea of student council elections. Those are months away. I imagine this is how politicians act when they realize a regime change is imminent and their era is over. I'm having trouble taking student council matters seriously at all, even now as I practice my calligraphy on signs that won't go up for weeks. But I can't understand why Shizune does. After all, she has been student council president for 3 years. According to her dad, she has wanted the job for even longer. Just 3 years is too short a career for her to leave feeling satisfied. Did that student council go through this much trouble to make it a smooth transition for you? Shizune makes a chagrined face that tells me they weren't very helpful at all. I guess you're doing all this to set a good example then? That only comes into play if they learn anything from it, He-chan. If they don't, I'll be hyper bad. If they turn out to be a flaky type, I'll definitely be hard on them. This sounds very threatening when Misha is saying it. So you've already met them? He-chan, there are no candidates yet! What? None? Not even student council president. That is why I'm trying to drum up interest for the position. What do you think? He proudly holds up a poster she's been working on herself. It looks very, military. You might be taking this a little too seriously then. Shizune frowns and plays with her glasses, offended. Is that weird? Yes. She looks oddly happy that I'm disagreeing with her, and I think that if she weren't genuinely focused on what she was doing, she would try to argue with me just because it would be interesting to her. What's weird about it? It looks like she will do that after all. But then again, Shizune waves her hand dismissively, like she is trying to catch the words in the air and delete them. Instead, she catapults her into insulting her future successors. Well, one thing that's weird is that in my old school, the elections would happen in about 6 months, since, you know, we're graduating in March. It's pretty weird to think about them so early. It's a little different here. He-chan, I'll be discouraged if we don't have any replacements when I have to go, Chi-chan says. But it isn't like the school will stop running a student council. It'll be harder for them to hand out forms, though. Ha ha ha! Shizune isn't laughing, however. Misha jokes, causing her to flinch, as if she were a stunk. Though Misha didn't mean for it to come out the way she did. Her quip has a callous cruelty to it in the end. I'm trying to get more people to run, but everyone is so lazy. They think they can take it easy just because there are no deadlines yet. Slackers, not taking the early game advantage. Still, 6 months away? If they aren't making their move now, they don't deserve a vote. Do they really think that's such an easy job that they can do everything at the last minute and just coast into the role? Insulting! Really, really! They're going to be eaten alive once they've sat at the signing desk and see just how much work they have to do. If this were a real election, they would be in deep trouble. I was reading about Japanese campaigning laws the other day. Only the bad ones for some reason. For some reason. The second, Shizune was talking like her father there, and it was coming out of Misha's mouth. Creepy. Well, first off, Shadow Shogun, you can't really make that call. They'll be elected. Second, it's just a school election. Not like they're running for city council or the diet. I don't think Japanese campaigning laws apply. Third, although I don't want to say it, I've noticed that Shizune is so enthusiastic about this, talking of elections and votes. According to her dad, she wasn't even elected herself. Come to think of it, I can't remember Shizune ever saying she was elected either. Then, did she get this position by being recruited into the student council? And having it fall apart until she was the only one left? Somehow, I never considered it. I don't know what to think about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. We're only 3 people strong now. The circumstances behind her becoming the student council president were that sad. I wonder if there will be a vote at all. Interest could just be that low or non-existent, really. Then all her energy would be going towards nothing. Slap an exclamation mark on the end of the poster I'm working on. It's a little plain, so I think adding one is okay. Actually, it still might be a little too plain. I'll make the mark twice as large. I still say you need to slow down. If this stuff isn't going to be relevant for months, maybe you're working a little too hard on it. That's what I think. You're worrying too much. I don't like how I have to send the word relevant. I try and only end up flicking a long line of paint where I didn't intend to. There's no way I can fix that. Aisha, can you ask her that? Shizune giggles silently, clenching her teeth in so that no sound actually comes out. Because there's a lot to worry about. Like what? Like, usually the boxes end up looking very pretty, so people take them. Have to plan for that. We should make them funny looking this time, so that no one will take them. I bet, Shi-chan? We could draw some weird faces on them. Or we could put a little picture of Shizune on each one saying stealing is wrong. That'll make people just want to steal even more. No, it's not funny. It's not the only problem either. There's the voter turnout, of course. And then the worst case scenario would be not having any candidates. Although it seems she mean it jokingly, the way she smiles and signs it, that isn't how it comes out. Even Misha understands that the possibility is very real. And though she tries to salvage the mood by punctuating Shizune's statement with a laugh, it doesn't work. What is wrong with the both of you? I was making a joke. There is actually some interest this year. If there wasn't, will I be doing all this work? I'm not stupid. The elections are over, I'll buy everyone dinner. I'm already planning it. Even the new student council? No, they can buy their own celebration dinner. It will only be for the current student council. I'll be happy once I'm through having to do all these thankless jobs all the time. A dinner just for us? Yay! It's like a little party, Shi-chan! Though her cheerfulness is obviously forced, I say nothing. For the rest of the period, which fortunately isn't very long, we work in silence. Technically we already work. After classes, I find the student council room locked. It's strange because Shizune was so busy earlier that I would have expected her to continue working after school. It would be what she normally do. Maybe we should listen to my suggestion and decide to take a break. I'm hoping it's that simple. Feeling a little uneasy, I take a brief stroll around the school. It's only half conscious I can't remember when I started moving my feet. But I have already covered enough of the campus, I'm starting to feel tired. Not that means anything now. Just a short stroll around the school grounds and I'm already winded. Really pathetic. Before I know it, I am back in front of the student council office. There's someone else too, this time. Hi, He-chan! It's locked. Seeing a cat with a name on her hand, I reflexively started looking for a vending machine nearby. I'm so thirsty. I know that He-chan. She-chan is somewhere else, I guess. Weird. We have stuck together, He-chan. She takes a long drink from her lemonade. Eventually just tipping it over and pouring the rest into her mouth. I feel like I'm being mocked. Do you want one, He-chan? Nah, it's okay. I can't take someone else's drink. It's rude. Besides, you're making fun of me, aren't you? I just saw you inhale all of that. I have another one in my bag. I was prepared. See? See? I'm just like He-chan. She's a little too prepared. It's a good thing. It's good that it's good someone that is rubbing off on you anyway. After what? 2 years? The way she stares at me as I drink is a little disconcerting. I'm too grateful to care much about it. You and Shizune always end up treating me to something. It's starting to embarrass me. Really, Shi-chan? Buy me lunch sometime then, okay? Then we'll be even. Well, it's funny you should say that. I was going to ask if you wanted to eat in town. Yeah, I'm really hungry today, He-chan. Thanks. Yesterday. I was going to ask her yesterday. Misha cuts me off before I could finish the sentence, and I can't find an opening to correct her as she dashes enthusiastically round me, laughing, her arms flapping excitedly at her sides. I already have my wallet with me, so I start walking towards town with Misha trailing behind me, playing idly with her hands and loudly wondering to herself where we should go eat. At least, I think so. She could be asking me. Do you have anywhere specific where you want to go? I want to go to that tea house. They have a really big buffet there. So you ate a buffet there last time. It looked really big. No. This one is really, really big. It's also really expensive. Really, really expensive? A little. Jeez. Well, you and Shizune paid for my food a bunch of times, so it's fine. Hopefully. He-chan, I don't think I ever did that. Are you sure it wasn't just Shi-chan? Are you really arguing against a free meal? Don't worry about it. We go to the Shanghai, and are seated by a waitress who is surprisingly not Yuko. Imposter! We have an imposter among us! Misha is very eager to eat that parfait, because she shouts her order as soon as she walks through the door. When it arrives, I can see that it is both very big and very expensive looking. Are you going to order anything, He-chan? If you're hungry, we can share. Nah, I don't like parfaits. I don't like pralin. You can pick it out. You can't just pick out pralin. That'd be silly. Even if I could, Nisha is mashing her food together to the point where it's no longer possible. It also looks kind of gross. I wonder if that many flavors can even blend well. Can she really taste anything in that goop? She's acting like it's delicious anyway. Parfaits are the best! I have sensitive teeth, so ice cream's a no-no. Cake is too soft, though, and if there is too much icing, I got bored. Parfait is interesting. How many cafes have parfait here? I think 10, and I've tried them all. I like this one the best. It has a little flan. You sound like you're some kind of dessert expert. Not just dessert, I want to eat all kinds of delicious things. Someday, I'll have the money to buy 2-kilogram Matsusaka beefsteak. That's like over 100,000 yen! I guess this kind of decadent food is kind of your hobby then, huh? Hobby isn't something that should take months to learn about someone. I've been very rude in retrospect. Also, that is one pricey hobby. I guess so. Decadent? Yeah. Misha giggles, raising her hand to her face. Looks like some ice cream accidentally got on her nose. Didn't notice it. I can't stop noticing it. I wish she would wipe it off. I'm about to tell her, but she suddenly says, I don't know what that means. Oh, I guess that's a bad word. Anyway, it has implications. Epicurean is better. It means someone who enjoys eating food, nice food. That's the adjective. So epicure is the word for it. Hey Chad, you're too wordy. Sorry. I think that is what Shi-chan likes about you. Because I'm wordy? I need to buy some thesauruses then. What? No, not like that, He-chan. I decided to order some coffee after all, but it takes a while to get the waitress to notice, and I think actually getting my coffee will take about as long. The tea shop is filling up. No surprise, as we've been here for almost an hour while she was chipping at that dessert. I ordered my coffee to go, but Misha orders one as well, so it seems like we're going to be here longer than I thought. I really wish it was that easy. It's hard to talk to her lately. Chi-chan has been busy because of the election. I know, we can't have fun all the time. It's just that there's a lot I want to say to her, I think. I always screw up when the time comes, though. And I don't even have the time now, because of the elections. They're not for a while, though. He-chan, do you think that Shi-chan is avoiding you? Misha sounds angrily. That has to be expected, but I don't feel that way at all. No. Is that so? The dreamy way in which she says it makes me think that Misha's disappointed with my answer. In that case, it could be how she feels. I'm uneasy asking such a question, but I trust Misha would answer it honestly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dream of it. Do you? No, of course not, He-chan. But it's frustrating sometimes. Shi-chan has so much energy and is always trying to make people feel as excited about things as she is. But it's like Shi-chan doesn't know how to handle things when everyone gets really hyped up. Or I think that she wants to make sure nothing goes wrong. When I want to help out, Shi-chan always pushes me away. It's frustrating. I'm just overthinking it probably, right? Nisha takes a big gulp of her cup of coffee, then sticks her tongue out. Oh, thought it would have been cooled down by now. Has it really been that long? Check my watch. It hasn't been very long at all, but looking outside, the sun is already starting to set. Not really. Huh. It got dark out pretty quickly today, though. So, I guess I understand why you might think that. At my words, Misha looks outside and yawns almost immediately. She looks sleepy. That's funny because... Are you sleepy? You were wide awake like just 2 seconds ago. I feel tired when it gets dark, He-chan. Just like that? Are you a bird? Picked up my own coffee and have a sip. Not very hot at all, but very tasty. I done as quickly as possible because now I want to get back to my dorm room as well. Nisha tries to emulate me, but it's still too hot for her. While I wait for her to finish, I start to wonder what she meant back then about Shizune liking something about me. Suddenly, I'm very curious. But dragging that back up now feels like an unnecessary action. I try to weigh the option again, but I am immediately interrupted by Misha slamming her empty cardboard cup down on the table with a loud pop. She let out a short laugh, seemingly very pleased with herself. Sounds like a toddler. I wonder if she had that drill-shaped haircut when she was little too. Or is it something more like her current look? It would make more sense. I guess we should head back then. Can't see the waitress. Try not to fall asleep while I pay for the sundae, okay? Not a sundae, it's a parfait, He-chan! You have ice cream on your nose. Would it be whipped cream, not ice cream? Whatever. In class the next afternoon, I have 2 problems into a math logic worksheet. So when I folded up piece of paper, it hits me in the head. I'm sure I know whom it's from, but I quickly look around the classroom anyway, just in case. No one in this classroom is good at acting casual. I can tell that everyone who saw who threw it at me, and looking at the culprit herself, it was obviously Shizune. She isn't even trying to be coy about it. The course site is so different. At my old school, I would have no idea who it was right now. Oh, countryside. Oh well, open up the note, it says, Misha is absent. Help me out today after school. Don't understand what's with the note, but can't you just use sign language? A large part of how I learned sign language was by copying Misha's style of signing code words as she speaks. So I end up blurting the sentence out loud as I sign it to Shizune. A slight laugh goes around the room. How awkward. I'll help if I don't have to do a lot. That's silly. Obviously, if Misha is absent, you have to help as much as 2 people. I don't know if that really means anything. After all, Misha was complaining yesterday mostly about how Shizune wouldn't let her help. I don't do much as is either. After pretending to think about it over for a bit, I write her a note back telling her I will. I'm actually happy that she asked me, because I've been meaning to talk to her for a while. Good opportunity, but I feel like I should at least make it look like I am putting up some resistance to the idea. I go back to my worksheet and immediately get stuck on the 3rd problem. After trying to work it out, I casually toss my note over to Shizune. It says, why is Misha absent? And what's the answer to question 3? She told me that she was sick and her stomach hurt. You should get stomach aches a lot, but I wish she picked a better time for it this week. Use sign language. I think she has a stomach ache because of the way she sucked down a parfait larger than her head the other day. She gets them quite often though. Is this a coincidence? Or she has a habit of eating things that can put her in debilitating pain. Notice the teacher staring at us disapprovingly. I don't blame him. We're talking in class. With sign language, in quite a visible and distracting way, I try clearing my throat to back out of our conversation, but Shizune doesn't get the hint. Well, obviously. Before I try to get the message across again with my hands, however, I can see Shizune knows what's up, and she just doesn't care. You still want to know the answer to question 3? I'll tell you, but you have to give me the question the answer for question 25. Hey, I just was thinking about how a teacher who didn't know sign language could think we were abusing it and using it to cheat. If we were to assume the worst, I can't believe you're actually doing that. And I'm not up to 25. I didn't know the answer to 3 was. You asked first, hypocrite. You're the student council president. You can't cheat. I don't have time for this. And I'm thinking I'm trying the teacher's patience to the breaking point. I like to continue taking pot shots at her while working on the math problems in front of me, but it would require at least 2 extra hands. Shizune is a bit more creative and gets around this limitation by using long, semi-broken strings of simpler words. I take a couple of mental notes in between being dizzled by a couple of particularly long equations. Right before the bell rings, she cups her pen and triumphantly slams it on her desk, with an ear-popping crack that makes the whole room jump, quickly forgetting because everyone would rather go to lunch than question its origin. After a couple of brief stretches, she gets up and hovers over my left shoulder. It's still not done? I was going to ask if you wanted me to hand in yours too while I was up. Someone distracted me. I had to beg the creature to give me 9 minutes between now and the end of passing to finish it. It's not easy to solve this one-handed while having a conversation, by the way. I wasn't happy with the request, wanting to get out of here as much as I do. Since I'm only one problem away from finishing it, it looks like Shizune doesn't really believe me. Thinking that I'm done handing it in, I find myself being dragged to the student council room. Ooh, no limitations. It's eerily and annoyingly clean. I can't find what I was working on yesterday. Where is everything? I did some cleaning. It doesn't tell me anything. See, it's like you forgot where you even put the stuff you put away. Oh well, if I can't find it, I guess I'll just go home. It's in the drawer right here. Shizune sulks as I pull out the posters I was working on, then shuffle them around a little. Says she stacked them by color. It's not that I'm taunting her, I just have my own system. Although I doubt she would believe me if I were to tell her. I like it when things are a little messy. It's more natural and a time saver. It's alright where I left it, and I don't have to go looking through shelves just to find what I was working on yesterday. Lazy. That's not true. I'm not lazy, you just always go too far. I quickly glanced at her desk. A memo pad neatly placed at one corner. Behind it is a small desk calendar, with each box filled with notes and a neat but microscopic handwriting. On the right, 3 boxes of pens in blue, black, and red. Look, you even put the pens back in the original box at the end of each day. All color-coded and everything. I don't think that can even be called being a neat freak. What do you do with them? Throw them in a mug on your desk? Hey, I think that's being organized enough. You're so disorganized, you can't even comb your hair down properly. That hurts! It's not like I don't try. Just won't stay flat. Pick up a box of pens and quickly pop it open to see if she also puts them in so that they're all facing the same direction. She understands what I'm thinking and doesn't look very amused. Turns out that the box wasn't closed properly on the bottom. As soon as I pick it up, they immediately pour out of it like a waterfall. My fault. I'll get them, don't worry. I bent down to pick up the pens, forgetting that with her attention focused on them, she couldn't possibly see me signing to her. Suddenly, a head bumps into my chest. Not very hard, but unbalances me enough to make me fall over. I laugh it off and expect her to do the same, but she stiffens and backs away from me instead. I'm feeling dread begins to creep over me. That is a weird reaction. I start to think about why she would have such a strange reaction. It's pretty obvious she bumped headfirst into someone with a heart condition. Shizune wouldn't know I have one, having seen the rows and rows of pills lining the edge of my dresser. Or at least the very least, she would know I have something severe enough to require that much medication, but not visible at a glance. So she's treating me like I'm made of glass. For her, it's the natural way to react. I haven't forgotten how she freaked out back when Emmy knocked into me. Why would it be any different for her? I'm unsure if she's remembering that. Right now, I can see it on her face. She looks angry at herself. It'd be a good opportunity to bring up that time. Even though I don't want to bring that back up, it would be a good idea to. It would clear the air. Still, I'm afraid and end up saying nothing. Partly because as I imagine having to draw her attention from the floor, then having to sign what kind of a cripple I am to her one gesture at a time, the idea begins to seem more and more depressing. Taking a seat, I decided to just try and finish up these posters to get my mind off of it. There are some things I don't remember making, from the wall-to-wall text and alternate handwriting. I can tell Shizune must have done these. That means that the remainder must have been done by Misha. They are a lot more visual, with cute little styling pictures of us on them. I don't know how I feel about being used as a mascot character, but I'm not really thrilled by it. Some time passes. Actually, I think I'm gonna end it here. It's 28 minutes. This is a new scene. It's a good time. So that's all for this time. This is Restock the Drug Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the series so far, and hope to see all you guys again next time. See you guys then!